Hey, welcome back to our Introduction to Delta Lake series. In this video, we're going to look at how to manage Delta tables, what are Delta tables, and dive into creating some in our Synapse environment. Let's get to it. Hello, my name is Austin Leibel and I'm a trainer for Pragmatic Works. We do training on all sorts of Microsoft technologies like Azure, like Power BI, as well as Azure Synapse Analytics and dealing with data lakes and ultimately dealing with this new terminology, the Delta Lake. If you haven't watched my most recent video in this series, definitely go check it out so you can better understand what a Delta Lake is, where you use it, and all that great content. But we're going to talk about Delta tables in today's video. So what is a Delta table? A Delta Lake table is a table that is created and managed using Delta Lake technology. Delta Lake is an open source storage layer that sits on top of existing data lakes and allows for ACID transactions. Delta Lake tables are designed to be really highly scalable, reliable, performant, and they are optimized for really large scale data processing workloads, so really big data scenarios. Delta Lake tables can also be created and managed using a variety of programming language and tools such as SQL, Python, Scala. In today's example, I'm going to be using Python to create and manage my Delta table. What gets created ultimately on your data lake, though, is versioned Parquet files that store your data in cloud storage. So apart from the versions, data lake's also going to store a transaction log to keep a track of all the different commits that have been made to keep our ACID transactions for us. So let's get to it. Let's head over to our Azure Synapse Analytics environment. I have a notebook already ready to go that we're going to go and use to create a table in our data lake using Delta technology. We already have a file that exists in our data lake. We're going to go check that out and write it as a Delta file and just see what that looks like. So let's head over there now. All right, so I'm inside of my Synapse Analytics environment. So I am going to be going over into my Develop Hub, where as I mentioned before, I already have a notebook that I have up and running that is attached to one of my Apache Spark clusters. Apache Spark is going to be the compute resource that you need to use in order to work with Delta Lakes inside of our data lake. If I go over to my Manage Hub inside of my Synapse Analytics workspace, you can see that I have a Apache Spark pool that is up and running. I can click on it and I can see the configuration of it, just so you have a frame of reference for what I'm working with. I'm working with Apache Spark version 3.3, which allows access to the Delta Lake version 2.2. So I have the most up-to-date version at today's time of what is available inside of Synapse Analytics for working with Apache Spark and Delta Lake specifically. Now back over in my Develop Hub, I have this notebook here. A notebook is a web interface that allows me to go through and write code leveraging Spark, leveraging Apache Spark. Inside of this cluster, I am going to be writing PySpark, which is the native Python language for working with Spark. And I already have my cluster up and ready. It is working. It took about 3 minutes or so for that to turn on, and it just did a simple print hello world. I can go ahead and run that again though, and you can see that it operates in about less than 1 second. Now what I'm going to be working with, I'm going to take data that I already have that exists inside of my Synapse Analytics associated data lake. So I have a data lake that is associated with my Synapse environment. I'm going to kind of simulate a scenario that might happen for you. You get a file, it gets uploaded to your data lake, and you need to merge it with your Delta table. That's what we're ultimately going to be shooting for, but we don't have a Delta table yet. We need to go and create one anew. So we're going to do that in this example here, but just to show you what I am looking at, I'm going to go over to my data lake so you can see that I do have a file there. It is in what I just called a CSV directory, and I'm going to create a new directory called Delta in the run of this notebook here. So let's go over to our Synapse data lake, and then we'll work with that data and write it to a Delta table. All right, so I'm going to go over to my data hub, and inside of my data hub, I'm going to connect with the linked data lake that I have associated with this Synapse workspace. You can see I have this container here that is my primary container in my primary data lake, and I have this CSV folder. So inside of this CSV folder or directory, I have a couple files here. I have an employee list 1 and an employee list 2. Well, to start with, we're going to simulate just wanting to create a delta table from scratch. So I'm going to go through and connect with this employee list.csv, and I'm going to make a delta table out of that. So I'm going to go back over to my Synapse notebook. To start with, before I actually go through and create my delta table, I'm going to set up a few string variables here. These string variables are going to allow me to reference them down the line. So if you ever want to see a list of all the variables that are currently in a cluster that are associated with your cluster that you have up and running, you can click on this variables button right up here. So that allows me to go through and see a list of variables that I have in my environment. So you can see all the variables I currently have. Again, there's not many because I just started this notebook up. But when I go through and run this code cell right here, that's going to establish some new variables in my environment. So this goes through, this runs pretty quickly. It printed out the variable names that I'm going to reference later on in the notebook. And then I can go and do a little refresh here. It looks like it already actually did it for me. That is referencing the variables that I already created. They are string variables, as I mentioned before. These are the name, how I'm going to reference the variables, and this is the value of the variable specifically. So that's why I have this code cell up here. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create something called a data frame. A data frame is how we can load file into a Spark cluster. So I'm going to be working with this data frame. This does not necessarily mean I have a delta table yet. This is just what I'm going to use to load the data that exists inside of my data lake into this cluster, and then I can reference it and create a delta table once it exists here and I have access to it. So the way I'm going to create this data frame is I'm going to say data frame equals, you will often see potentially someone just reference a data frame with df, but just to make it very clear, I call this data frame. So my data frame is going to equal a Spark read load operation, where I'm going to go and reference my data lake name, my container of my data lake name, and then ultimately the place in my data lake where this file exists. So again, this is in my CSV directory, and this is the name of the file that I'm going to be connecting with. Now this is a delimited text CSV file, so I'm going to make sure I specify the format as CSV, and that my header row is going to equal true because I do need to promote my first row as headers. Now, I'm also going to come here and do a display and just show what exists in this file ultimately. This is about 5 records or so. We're just dealing with some really sample data for this example here, but I'm going to go ahead and run this cell now. That's going to, again, make a connection to my data lake, look at the file there, and bring that data into this notebook so that I can reference it and create a delta table with that. Now this typically takes just a few seconds for us to go through and create. Again, not a really big data scenario here we're working with for our YouTube video, but at this time I will say that if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe so you can see our next iteration of this video once we go through and start wanting to modify delta as well. We're going to work on modifying this delta table after we go through and create the delta table. All right, so here is our data frame. This is our data frame right now. This is just an employee list. Some employees that currently work for Pragmatic Works. We gave them some fake departments, some fake salaries, just to go through and simulate how we can keep a record of all of our different employees who exist in our environment. So you can see my name here, Austin Leibel again. I'm in sanitation, making the lowest salary of this bunch. Again, this is more than anything just for fun. Now we have our data frame, it's loaded, we have access to it in this notebook. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this data frame, I'm going to reference it, data frame, and I'm going to write the data frame in the format of delta, and then I'm going to save it down to something known as my delta table path. So when I go through and run this, this is going to allow me to create a delta table inside of my data lake. So this will go through and allow me to gain access to this new delta table. Where this is going to be located is again referencing this delta table path up here that I created a variable to earlier. So this run of this cell is going to create a new directory called delta, and inside of that a new delta table called employees. So this is going to be my delta table, but again, it's just going to be files that exist in my data lake. So I've gone through, I have run that operation, it completed successfully. Now let's go over to our data lake and let's look at that. So I'm going to go back over to my data lake, go back to the root of my container here, and there we have it, a very new delta table that was just created for us. Now this is just the outline kind of delta. This shows all my different delta tables that exist inside of it. So once I double click into here, this would be what I would call my delta table, my employees, dbo.employees essentially. So this is a table that I can go through, I can reference, I can write serverless SQL on-demand scripts against this using the serverless compute infrastructure of Synapse Analytics. But if I click inside of this employees table, delta table here, I have two things. I have my delta log. Again, this is how I'm keeping a record of all of the writes, deletes, updates, merges, things like that, as well as the versioned Parquet file. So if I go over here and open this up, you can see this is a .snappy, that's the compression method, Parquet file, and then it has this long string here that's going to allow me to look at that. So if I wanted to double click on this and open this up as a specific file, I have an Apache Spark viewer downloaded to this workstation, so there it is. There's the data that was written. Now this is Delta. You can't tell it yet. We haven't made any really updates to this, so we haven't changed the version, but we're just kind of getting started with the Delta table to begin with. So I'm going to close that down, and the other option I have here is this Delta log. So when I click inside of the Delta log, I'm going to be keeping this JSON file that's going to allow me to see all the different changes, modifications, things like that I make to this table. So I can go through and download the JSON log. You can see it's kind of split out pretty, kind of hard to read, but we see in here, we'll see some common names. Again, Austin, that's my first name, Devin Knight's in here, Mitchell Pearson, all that is being kept with these versions of our file. And it's also pointing to this .snappy.parquet as our initial write operation here. So this is going to go through and write that data to the Delta table, and that's how we're going to be viewing it. Now, if I wanted to, again, go to my employees Delta table, I can go to the root of this Delta folder here, and I can actually run a SQL script against this. Now, if you've never worked with Delta inside of Synapse Analytics, when you do a right click on this to create a new SQL script from the user interface, and you say, I want to select the top 100 records, you go through and select your file type. Well, you say, well, okay, there's Parquet formats in here, but that's not going to work, especially when we start making changes to this. That's going to give us bad data. What we actually have to do is go to this Delta format there. We're going to say we want to view the Delta format of this Synapse environment. I'm going to go through and create this script really quickly, run that just to show you how serverless SQL on-demand can be utilized with Delta as well, which is a very, very powerful way to utilize Delta and ultimately create the data lakehouse architecture inside of Synapse Analytics. All right, so here is our Delta table, again, queried using serverless SQL on-demand connected to my built-in. So this is a way to write SQL against a file in my data lake. So again, Delta is just files in the data lake. I'll go back over to my Synapse notebook now, and I have my Delta table. So I do have the ability to go in and view a history of the Delta table here as well. And it's a little bit easier to go through and read. So I'm going to import some functions and some a library into this notebook. So I'm going to run this right here. It allows me to gain access to some packages, things like that, information that I can go through and reference. So in order to run this history here, I need to import these for myself. So I'm going to go through now and run this history to see exactly what changes have been made to my Delta table. Now, currently we have just made one initial write, and you'll notice here it does say write as our mode for how we initially created this. But as we start working through here, as we start making modifications in the next several videos, we will see that we get updated with the records of what is happening with this. We can go through and see if it's a write, is it a delete, how many rows were there, how many rows got deleted, deleted, how many rows got modified. So this is a way, again, that we can maintain that historical accuracy inside of our data lake using ACID transactions and the Delta technology. Ultimately, coming back over to the file in my data lake, you might say, wow, that's great, but what happens after you've made, a lot of changes to this table? Well, once we've made a total of 10 commits to the transaction log, we're going to go through, and Delta Lake's going to save a checkpoint file in a Parquet format in the Delta log subdirectory. So Delta Lake will automatically go through, generate these different checkpoint files every 10 commits, and then these checkpoint files are allowing us to go through and save entire states of the table at point in time in this Parquet format. So it's easy to read for Spark. We're able to go back and reference that, so we're not having to keep everything, and there's some other ways we can actually go through and delete data as well based on a retention period using vacuum functions. So we can talk a little bit more about that as we start to make modifications to our table, but we'll get to that in the next video. Hopefully you're excited about the possibilities of seeing just what Delta has. It's a very powerful tool. Again, Delta tables, nothing more than a file and a transaction log in your data lake. You can go through and query it with serverless SQL On-Demand. This all works better together inside of Synapse Analytics. So if you're interested in any of these different technologies I've talked about today, want to know more about them, definitely check out our on-demand learning platform, or go through and maybe sign up for one of our Synapse boot camps we have year-round. So I will see you in the next video, and hopefully you enjoyed this one, but we'll see you in the next one.